10th of July, 2018. The day the old ladies, Juventus, signed Cristiano Ronaldo for 100 million euros from Real Madrid. They signed one of the greatest players that's ever played. A player that scored nearly 50 goals and route to Real Madrid winning the Champions League. The crown in the jewel. The guy that comes in and wins the Champions League for Juventus that they haven't won in more than 20 years. Fast forward 4 years later, and Juventus are embroiled in one of the greatest scandals they've had in the last 2 decades. This is reminiscent of the scandal of 2006. But that's by the way. That is not the topic of discussion for today. That's a little segue that we have to go to in order to get to the point. The point I'm trying to make today is the Super League dead? The European Super League, where 12 teams, the supposed superpowers of football, come together to make a league, in quotes, super. We all know it's all about money. They want more money. They believe they need a bigger slice of the pie. And UEFA are not just ready to give it to them. An argument could be made that, or maybe they deserve a bigger slice of the pie. Most of the money in football is from TV revenues anyway. You want to tune in to watch the Real Madrids of this world, the Manchester United, the Arsenals, the Juventus, the Barcelonas, whether or not they are the best teams. But they are the team that still captivate a large chunk of the audience. But they didn't get what they want. So they decided to form this league, break away from UEFA, and make more money. The old lady, the Turin army, hiding money. I've always been suspicious of Juventus. Anyway, as an outsider, they're one of the teams they specifically deal in trading players. I don't think there's any big team that swap players as much as Juventus does. And what that does is it's a way to inflate the value of a player. I'll give you an example. Barcelona and Juventus swapped Pjanic for this new Liverpool midfielder's name. It's just escaped my mind right now. Oh my God. It was a swap that was so weird because Juventus valued Pjanic at 60 million euros. And the opposing player they're swapping with Pjanic was valued at 90 million euros or so. Those two players' values were hugely inflated. Nobody's going to buy them for that price. It's a swap deal. The contract are drawn out. I believe that is a way these teams use to evade financial fair play. They use it to evade taxes. I'm not the expert at this, but it doesn't make logical sense. It was a deal that didn't make any sense, but it went ahead. They didn't break any rules. But now news are coming out that Juventus have actually been breaking rules. They bought the then 35 or 36 years old Ronaldo for 100 million. Where is that money coming from? Juventus, as big as they are, they don't have the pulling power as long as they're in Serie A. Serie A is a dead league. The stadiums are old. The government will not sign off on contracts for them to build new and modern stadium that would attract both the local fans and the international audience. And I know everybody is going to be like, oh, Agnelli, blah, 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 he's terrible, he's this, is that. But I would applaud him a little bit. He made some very, very good decisions, at least the first 6-7 years of his reign. I think it was there for like, 12 years, a dozen years. He got them out of a very, very sticky situation. We all see how long it took AC Milan to get back to a good level. Agnelli came in, made good financial decisions in the beginning, signed Antonio Conte, who was relatively new on the scene. That was his second job in football within like 2 years. He signed Andre Pirlo, who everybody has written of, who AC Milan released. And they've been able to pick up a lot of bargain players on the market. Bargain players that has hugely improved their play. Juventus won like 8 or 9 league titles. That is absolutely insane. But the problem Agnelli was faced with is still the same problem every Serie A team is going to be faced with. They can't improve at the level of other European teams like Barcelona, Real Madrid, Manchester United, Man City, and the likes, because their league is not very attractive. The league is not attractive enough for investors. And when I say investors, I mean the cream de la cream of investors. We all know if you want a great team these days, you either get an American owner, which is the Premier League is densely populated with right now, or you get somebody from the Middle East. That is where the money is right now. So if you're not getting any of those two groups of people to invest in your team, you're not making it. The people who refuse to let go of the Super League team and dream, Juventus, because they need the money. COVID decimated them. COVID destroyed all the plans. COVID showed the gross mismanagement of financial resources at the top end of management. You're paying Ronaldo is on what, 500, 600,000 pounds a week. Juventus could not afford Cristiano Ronaldo. Barcelona could not afford Lionel Messi. Messi was on almost 700,000 pounds, sign-on bonus of like 20, 30 million. You can't afford these players. But because the lifeblood of football is the fans, the 3-4 billion people in the world who are heavily invested in buying merchandise, watching games, getting broadcasted to their homes every day, coming to the stadium with the gate fees. COVID took a huge chunk, more than 50% of the revenue a club makes, away from the market. So these clubs get exposed, especially the clubs who don't have the Premier League reaches. We're so blessed in the Premier League that the league is so goddamn attractive that we make ridiculous amount of money. Now, this statement is not outlandish. The Premier League is already a super league. Maybe not in terms of the absolute quality, but in terms of financial resources, it already is. I will never understand why English teams want to join the Super League. Oh, they don't want to get left behind in case it works. They want to still eat out of the pie. They want to make their own money. It's always about the money. Let's talk about Barcelona. Whatever is happening to Juventus right now, Barcelona might be the next team. There is a trend. First Juventus. In fact, it was first Barcelona. They almost went into bankruptcy. They practically were in bankruptcy. They found a way. They found a loophole. They did some things, and they managed. Are they continue to sell off the rights of Barcelona in order to raise money? Or are they just going to decide to live within their means and try and grow organically again? I think it is a simple decision. There will always be thousands and millions of Barcelona fans all over the world. Can they be honest with their fans for once in their life? Live within your means for a few period of years. Don't just shove the Super League thing down everyone's throats as the end and be all. It's not. Now we have Juventus, then Barcelona, then we see FSG putting Liverpool up for sale because they feel like they have maximized whatever they can get from the club, and this is probably the peak of sale they can get from Liverpool. The same thing with Manchester United. The Glazers bought Manchester United almost like a scrap. It's like you going to bid for a car, and you bought a car for $10. That is in 20 years for some reason is what $2,000, $20,000 now. Probably the biggest sports team in the world in terms of exposure and in terms of money, marketing. They know they have maximized what they can get from the team, and they know that they can't satisfy the fans of Manchester United because they want to see you spend money. The money they have been making all these years that they have been pulling out of the club. It might be the right time to sell. A little segue again. This just came to my mind. If all these teams are being bought by the Abu Dhabis, the Qataris, the Americans, and we have all these multi-billionaires in the Premier League, people should not get too excited. It doesn't guarantee you that your team is going to win. Because if you have 6-7 billionaires that are constantly ready to invest, what it means is we all have money and we're going to buy inflated players. And you can still guarantee winning. Which is funny. The only team that is guaranteed to win something in Premier League every season these days is Manchester City. If Newcastle joins them and they can spend the same amount of money and they get a good management team, which is looking like they have behind them, with Manchester City, the competition will be so stiff that there's only 3 trophies a year for every single team to win. But right now, right in this very moment, I believe the Super League is dead and in the gutter. There's no getting out of it. There's no reviving it. I believe English teams should not be playing these games. The EPL is here to stay. The Champions League is here to stay. We can ask for a bigger slice of the pie based on how much we make for the Champions League and all these leagues. And people should learn. People, this is an advice. Individuals should learn to live within their means, and corporate organizations should learn to live within their means. You should spend what you make. Most organizations are failing these days because there's this crazy projection 6-10 years ahead, and we're spending money that we don't have because we believe we might make this money. This is not R&D. This is not the pharmaceuticals where you spend and you think you're going to make money. It's not. It doesn't work like that in football. If you spend what you don't have, eventually it catches up with you. Thank you guys for watching, and I would like to see your feedback in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe the video. Remember, the like is very important. That is what creates exposure for the channel. And subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you once again. Goodbye. God bless.